Sarah here. I am one of your co-hosts of Luminol True Crime, and I'm here to tell you about this podcast. We're tired of hearing about Ted Bundy, and we're here to bring you cases that you may not know. You can listen to Luminol True Crime anywhere you listen to podcasts. Join us every week for well-researched cases, interesting themes, and stories that you probably do not know at Luminol True Crime.
You're listening to the True Crime Witch podcast, the podcast that takes you into everything murderous, mysterious, and downright macabre. I'm your host, Emma, and you're listening to episode 3 of the Doe Diaries, a series where I look at every Doe case solved in 2019. So, before we jump into the episode, I'd also like to make a disclaimer, as I always do, that the True Crime Witch podcast covers topics such as rape, murder, crimes against children, and other sensitive topics, meaning that this podcast won't be for everyone, so your listener discretion is advised. This is episode 3 of the Doe Diaries, Donna Prudhomme, the Texas Killing Fields Janet Doe. On September 8th, 1991, 2 people were riding their horses in a field near Calder Road, Texas, when they came across the remains of a female. They called this into the local police department, and the Galveston County Medical Examiner's office was soon involved in the hopes of identifying the doe. Sadly, the medical examiner and the police were unable to identify the body found, and she was given the placeholder name of Janet Doe. Janet Doe would become another victim in the infamous Texas Killing Fields case. Now, there's a reason this is called the Texas Killing Fields, or the Killing Fields. A quote from Tim Miller for ABC13.com, or ABC13.com, sorry, I don't know why I said it like that, who is the founder and director of Texas EquiSearch. And that reason is that Tim's daughter Laura was found murdered in the same field off Calder Road in 1986. Laura Miller was just 16 years old when she disappeared from the local corner shop, and it wasn't until 17 months later, on February 22nd, 1986, that her body was found in the killing field. At the same time that Laura Miller was discovered, another doe was discovered, which led to locals calling it the Texas Killing Fields due to the amount of young women who had been either killed or dumped there. It's a very sad prospect to think about. In May 2017, Janet Doe's phenotyping results were completed by Prudhomme Nanolabs, which, if you're into the John and Jane Doe cases, it's a name that you'll hear quite a lot, and I would love to have a job with Prudhomme Nanolabs because I have a degree in forensic science and criminology, so hit me up, guys, and I'll get my work visa. The skulls of Janet and another doe, known as Jane, who I believe was discovered around the same time as Janet was, were sent to Dr. Westcott at Texas State University. From the skulls, Dr. Westcott was able to create 3D composites that would later help Prudhomme in their phenotyping analysis of the does. And I'm a huge fan of phenotyping analysis, like the snapshots. It's incredible how quickly forensic technology has progressed, and it's just really amazing to be part of that world. It makes you proud deep down, we're progressing. So by April of 2018, detectives began working on the forensic genealogy of Janet Doe by utilising the online database GEDmatch, which, if you're into John and Jane Doe cases, you'll be familiar with GEDmatch. If you're in the US, I would say opt into GEDmatch because it's a really incredible thing, but at the same time, can't tell you what to do. I don't believe that we use this in the UK because of privacy laws, etc., but if you have the option to opt into GEDmatch, it could really help in these John and Jane Doe cases. Months passed by with detectives working tirelessly to piece together Janet's family tree, and that's when FBI agent Richard Renison came into the picture. Agent Renison offered detectives his expertise and assistance by using something called family tree DNA. The hope was to compare the DNA of Janet Doe to the data stored on the FT-DNA database, and by January of 2019, Renison had results. So, through the use of the FT-DNA database, agents and detectives were able to hunt down Janet's living relatives and ask them to provide a DNA sample. In the end, one biological son and sister of Janet were contacted and provided a swab to the FBI. Time passed with Janet's family and all of the agents and detectives involved waiting super patiently when in late 2019, answers finally came. Detectives and agents alike met with the Galveston County Medical Examiner to discuss the findings of her investigations. The medical examiner said that she had agreed with the DNA testing results and that she was actually in the process of updating Janet's death certificate, which is amazing news.
The second woman, called Janet Doe until now, has been identified as Donna Prudhomme. Police say she was about 34 when she died. Her family had given up hope they'd ever find her.
It was one of those things where they thought that, she probably just went her own direction and, they just, at some point, they kind of gave up looking for her.
Detectives say she moved to Seabrook in 1988. Court record shows she listed this home as her address. Police say she didn't have any known employment, was a frequent bar patron, and hasn't been seen since 1991.
We want to hear from people that knew these girls, before they went missing. And that's what's going to really, really help our investigation.
This new information came quickly through the use of DNA to find a familial match. Detectives are hopeful the identities will now bring them closer in their pursuit of a suspect. Now, if you think that you might have any information that could help police in their search and hunt for a killer, you're asked to call their tip line. Here's the number. It's 281-338-8220. Jason, back to you.
And Matt, hopefully some tips will come in. Thank you so much.
Janet Doe was officially identified as 34-year-old Donna Prudhomme, who was born on April 23, 1957, in Port Arthur, Texas. According to League City Police, in an article for click2houston.com, written by Megan Kennedy in 2019, Donna had fled her childhood area of Port Arthur to Austin, which is still in Texas, I believe, to escape an abusive relationship. When her remains were found, she was noted as having a healed rib fracture and a previously broken orbital eye socket, which all resulted from domestic abuse that she had suffered at the hands of her former partner. An abusive partner was not the only thing that Donna had left behind in Port Arthur. She also had 2 sons who were in the care of their grandparents at the time. One of her children has since passed away and grew up wondering what had become of his mum and why she had, quote, abandoned them. For click2houston.com, her surviving son said that, quote, he was relieved to hear that she didn't abandon them, but he also grieved her death, end quote. I wholeheartedly believe that Donna fled her abusive relationship, moved to a busy city area so she could set up a new life for her and her 2 sons, sort of blend in. She was probably in Austin getting herself settled, getting in a better place, becoming more stable, so that she didn't have to have her 2 sons grow up around turbulent situations. So, she probably moved away, was like, right, I'm going to get stable, I'm going to get a job, get everything sorted, and then when everything is appropriate to bring children into the situation, then I'm going to bring my sons back. But sadly, she never got that chance. whilst her children may have felt that she abandoned them, I genuinely do believe that she was trying her best to get her life turned around so that they could be reunited when everything was more like their mum was more stable and it was more appropriate to bring children into the mix. I don't think she abandoned them on purpose, but that's just my opinion. In the months before her death in 1991, Donna was living in Nassau Bay, Texas, and was said to frequent the bars on Calder Road 1. Her employment status isn't known, and the police would like the public's help in piecing together these parts of the mystery. Donna was last seen in Nassau Bay, Texas, in July 1991, and there have been no further confirmed sightings since that date. Donna is suspected to have died up to 6 weeks before she was found, putting an estimated date of death at around the 28th of July, 1991. This is just a date that I calculated by working 6 weeks back from her discovery date, which is September 8th, 1991, so it's around the end of July. So, with her estimated date of death, it's very likely that Donna actually died a short time after she was last seen in July of 1991. Police are now asking for the public's help, in Donna's case, not just to identify her killer and bring them to justice, but also for help in filling in Donna's employment history and details about her life before her death. According to police, Donna wasn't reported missing by her family, possibly because they were just under the impression that she'd, moved away to escape domestic violence and that she would be back soon. When she didn't get in contact with her family, maybe they were just under the impression that she had just moved on with her life and wasn't coming back. Without knowing the full story of what happened to Donna, we can only speculate what happened. If you have any information about the life of Donna Prudhomme, or any information that could lead to her killer, you are urged to contact the League City Police Department on 281-332-2566, with Donna's case number being cold case 91-2200. And you can also leave a tip anonymously with Crime Stoppers USA on 1-800-222-TIPS. So if you have any information, please don't be scared to call it in. No matter how insignificant or unimportant you feel it might be, or if you're not sure, just call it in. It could be the break in the case that we are waiting for. So, and remember, there are channels where you can be anonymous. So I urge you, if you have any information, because her family deserved to know what happened to her, and Donna deserves to be at rest, finally. That was episode 3 of the Doe Diaries. I apologise, it was a bit short this week. Had a bit of things going on, so had to make it a short one. But just because it's short, it doesn't make Donna's story any less important, and she deserves answers too. So, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram if you want to keep up with what I'm doing. If you want to get these episodes early, you can subscribe to the Patreon. You get early access to all episodes, plus some exclusive content, which I am in the process of writing. I am still in the process of writing February's Patreon exclusive episode. Might have to come as March. Sorry, guys. Just been super busy. But, yeah, so that was episode 3 of the Doe Diaries. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to leave me a rating and review on iTunes. It really helps, because I keep appearing in lots of different charts, and it's really exciting. So thank you so much. And remember, friends, stay safe and stay spooky.